As a rover in the ARRL January VHF contest, I'm excited to share the thrill of the mobile amateur radio contesting. The contest runs January 18th through the 20th of 2025, giving us the incredible opportunity to explore grid squares and make exciting contacts across the VHF frequencies. Being a rover is all about mobility and strategy. My goal is to maximize contacts and to do better than I've done in previous contests, traveling between different grid squares, setting up strategic locations with clear lines of sight, operating on multiple bands from 50 megahertz and up, so I can go up to 1296, and connecting with other amateur radio operators across different grids. Hello, I'm N5ZY, today N5ZY stroke Rover, and I had planned on going to Mount Magazine in Arkansas, but with this Arctic cold front I had to change plans. And then so I had a contingency plan, and then I had to make a contingency to the contingency plan because of this Arctic cold front and the weather conditions. So I ended up just kind of driving north and south within my own grid and just kind of going into adjacent grids and then coming back. These contests allow me to challenge myself by working as many stations as possible in the 2 degree by 1 degree Maidenhead grid squares, to use frequencies above 50 megahertz, and to optimize my travel route to cover multiple grids efficiently. It's more efficient to go north-south, since it's only about 60 miles to get to the next grid, than to go east-west, where it's 100 miles to get across the grid. So what makes rover contesting exciting is the combination of technical skills, geography, and radio communications. That's one thing I certainly do, is spend a lot of time looking at maps, the elevation maps, to see what locations are up high that have a place where I can park. So it's not just about making radio contacts. There's a lot of strategy and homework that goes into it. But it's about the journey, the problem solving, and the camaraderie among amateur radio enthusiasts. It's kind of funny when people ask where I'm located, and I tell them, and we have a short conversation. It makes it fun. But whether I'm navigating around obstacles or adjusting my antenna or meeting other rovers at grid intersections, each contest is a unique adventure that tests my skills and my passion for amateur radio. So next I'll turn the camera around and let you see the gear that's here inside the car. Just to show you what I've got here. So clearly a tablet showing contacts. I have my elevation rotor, well, azimuth rotor for right now, an IC 9700 for the VHF stuff, and over here is a Q5 Logic 900 megahertz transverter. The next shelf down is a 222 transverter from Q5 Logic. There's an IC 7610 that I use on 6 meters. So I use the 9700 on its native bands of 2 and 70 centimeters and 23 centimeters. I use the 7610 on 6 meters. And then down here, way down here hidden away, is another radio. That's the 7300. It's connected to the transverters, and I use that one for 222 megahertz or 1.25 meters, and for 33 centimeters, the 902 megahertz. And of course back there is an SAT controller, which I use to help me point the antennas toward any station that I'm copying. And then way back there, you can't really see it, is a voltage monitor for my 2 batteries. If I move up over here, you can see my batteries in the floor down there. At least you can see one of them. There's 2 100 amp hour batteries, lithium ion batteries down there. And that's kind of it. It's a bit of a cockpit here with a lot of stuff going on. So, and it's elbow to screen. I have to be careful every time I move, or I touch a button or push a button or whatever. And then I spend 10 minutes trying to figure out what I did. So here's the Rover, and of course the antenna's way up there extended is the 6-meter loop, and then 2-meter, 23 centimeter, 900 megahertz, 1.25 meter, and 440. And then laying down is a Comet vertical for 2 meter, 70 centimeter, and 23 centimeter. Obviously I can't use them both at the same time. And that's it. I'm going to pull down that mast and move to another grid. So one of the other things I wanted to show you is the stuff that I have in the back of the car. I carry along a ladder to get up onto the roof of the car, and a toolbox full of all the essential tools that I need for everything that I've got nuts and bolts for in here. And then of course right down there, if you can see it, is the coax switches. Kind of it, except for the coax. I replaced all of my LMR 400 on this particular journey with new coax from ABR. They have a LMR 240 equivalent that's very flexible. It's tough, it's double shielded, it's lightweight, and it's a lot easier to use, especially in a vehicle like this. And the LMR 400 was severe overkill, because I'm not running out 100 or 200 or 300 feet of it. I'm using 25 feet, so the difference in signal loss between the LMR 400 and the LMR 240 is really insignificant. And with that, I was able to use this coax roll-up wheel. So for 6 meters, I could roll up the coax, and it also has a BNC connector on that particular band. For 6 meters, we have a BNC, so that I can just real quickly disconnect it and roll up the coax or roll it out as I push the antenna up. So for pushing up, I just simply push up the antenna and it rolls right off of that wheel. When I bring it back down, I have to bring it down one section at a time, then bend over and roll on what I've brought down. As far as 900 megahertz, I brought the gear with me. I brought an antenna. Nobody seems to have 900 megahertz gear that I've been able to contact. So when you get somebody on 2 meters, you then ask them if they have any other bands, and I list off the bands that I have: 6 meters, 2 meter, 1.25 meter, 70 centimeter, 33 centimeter, and 23 centimeter. And I ask them what they have, and most people have 6, 2, and 70, and that's it. A few people had 1.25, but they are on a vertical, and I've got a horizontal gain antenna on 220, so wasn't able to work them either. So for the next contest, I think I'll add on a 220 vertical. That'll be in June, and I kind of look forward to warm weather. It's 15 degrees is the high today, I think. No, it's now showing 28. It's 4:30 p.m. It's 5 o'clock p.m. now. The contest gods have pretty much ended the contest for me because the bands are just dead. I haven't been able to get anybody on the radio in the last couple of hours. And the very funny thing about this contest, I couldn't get people on 6 meters, but I could get them on 2 meters and 70 centimeters. And 70 was even more clear than 2. And this was at a range of 100 miles. Go figure, you'd think 6 meters would definitely work, 2 would maybe work, and 70 would be iffy. It was the other way around, which doesn't make any sense. The other interesting thing about this contest here in January is on 6, I have had a large amount of people that I would decode once and never again. Like it was meteor scatter, but at 11 o'clock in the morning, 12 o'clock in the morning, 12 p.m., 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m., you're not having meteor scatter. We're on the wrong side of the planet. I don't know what was going on there on 6. They would be there. You'd hear them come in just super strong, just like what happens with a meteor shower. They'd come in super strong and then fade away, and you'd never hear them again. And I had a number of experiences like that, and a few of the people that I was talking to on 2 meters said the same thing.
Otherwise, January has been, except for the fact that, like when I left this morning, it was under 15 degrees with a wind chill of like 5. Otherwise, it was a kind of a fun contest. I don't look forward to disassembling this stuff because that's how cold it's going to be when I take it apart. When I put it together on the car, it was in the 60s. The day before the contest, it was 60 degrees. That's all I've got. No more complaints. 7.3 is N5ZY.